What's up everyone, checking in with my crate dig video for the stuff I picked up in the months of April, May, and June 2014. It's early July right now, July 5th, just past the 4th of July. So on a long holiday weekend right now, we have some extra time to talk about some of the stuff that I've picked up over the last 3 months. In terms of other things going on with me, I've been pretty busy recently with a new job that I actually got in starting with June of this year for Insomniac Events, which if you're watching from the US, you might know us as the events company that's behind the Electric Daisy Carnival, which is held in Las Vegas, New York, other cities in the past, and also other cities around the world. So electronic music and dance music is another big thing that I'm really interested in. I know it's not really reflected in my channel, which is mostly centered around hip hop, but I'm really into electronic music. By that meaning, you know, deep house, techno, tech house, progressive house, stuff like that, trance. So this job has been a real good change for me from my old job, so I'm having a lot of fun with it, but it's keeping me pretty busy. Hence the fewer uploads. But and I've actually also finally got through my backlog of records from the last, you know, year or so. Had a ton, so I'm actually up to date with all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be buying in moderation. I know I've been saying that in the past videos, but so yeah, some real good things in here though. Let's start off with a couple tapes and CDs that I never mentioned in past videos. Just forgot about them. First one is Natives in Black, Sick of the Bullshit. These guys are out of Boston. Put out 2 releases. This is their second release. Both of them are really rare. I think this one is a little harder to come by. Possibly only on tape and CD. So I had to pay a good amount for this. I actually haven't listened to this completely in full yet, but knew I'd probably never see it again. So Natives in Black, Sick of the Bullshit. May or may not get a couple tracks from here on my channel. A few tapes. Blended Culture, Pile 'em Up, sealed copy. I want to say this is out of New Orleans, if my memory serves me correctly. This is also has a vinyl release that's pretty expensive. The tapes are a lot easier to come by, much cheaper also, and they have this pretty cool artwork, so picked up that. Blended Culture. MC Red, I Smoke Mics for a Livin', also sealed copy here. This is a nice up-tempo one out of the Bay Area of California. Also on vinyl, which is very expensive. So as with the Blended Culture one, this MC Red, if you can find the tape, you can get it for significantly cheaper than the vinyl. So that's what I did in order to cross that off my want list. A real good one there. This is Phat Flavor 93, Unsigned Hip Hop. This is probably my highlight for the last 3 months. This was on my want list for a long time. After hearing some of these tracks previously, basically all these guys, with the exception of maybe a couple, like 1 or 2, never did anything else besides what they contributed to this tape. So these are it's like demo material basically that was submitted and compiled into this tape. When I first heard this, I thought everyone is out of New York because it has that New York sound to it, but if you read the liner notes, these are actually submissions from all over, you know, all up and down the East Coast. There's some from like Ohio, Toronto, something like that. So some real amazing stuff on here. And you know, as with most tape releases, you're very hard pressed to find them at all. So I did have to pay a good amount of money for this, but Phat Flavor 93, probably one of the best tapes I own at this point. Definitely check that out. We'll have a clip up. Ready to Roll, the real hip hop, backed with Ready to Roll, the track. Good stuff, nothing too exceptional. Just won that at eBay auction. And last one is Justice League, Praises Inphinit. This is an LA crew This is their first release, I believe, out of 2 or 3, I want to say. Praises Inphinit 96, tape only release, so had to pick it up when I saw that. Good one there. Moving into the records, starting off with Black Sheep. This is the 50th release that Dope Folks did. They did different colors, I think, for the first time with this release. So they pressed 50 on white vinyl. So this is the rarest out of the colors right now. These are sold out pretty much instantly. But I was lucky enough to pick up a copy. Not a giant fan of Black Sheep, but it's still good material, and I always try to support Dope Folks. So Black Sheep, early 90s Rarities. Bosch on Launchpad Records. This is one of the guys in the group called Global Platoon, which has put up some material on 66 recently. I know I've talked about them in my previous videos. So Jezebel and another track on the other side. Same order with that, I got this record, Optical, the Visionary. Another pretty low-priced indie 12 that you can get, but good all the way through. Optical, the Visionary. Next one, 215 Asasinz. This is a definite one that's on a lot of people's want list. Guaranteed hot shit, backed with Illadel Threat. Unfortunately, this copy is pretty beat up, so I got it for like $15 to $20. Usually goes for a lot more, but kind of regret it because I can't really do much with this in terms of ripping it, but I guess cool to have that 215 Asasinz. This is a test pressing of the release called Made It by A.K.R, who I want to say is out of Philadelphia. I know he has a couple other releases. This one, you can get it for pretty cheap, I think, when it comes up. He has another 12 that's much rarer, and that's also on tape. But test pressing, might as well. Had to get it when it came out. A couple Chopped Herring releases. I'm trying to buy less from them. Just kind of realize how overpriced they are, and you know. So I try to only get them if they're really, really dope, or if they're things that are on my want list, such as this one by the Halrazzers. Styles of a Razor was one that's been on my want list for a while, so glad that they picked this one up for a reissue. And another one that I was able to cross off my want list thanks to Chopped Herring is the Crime Scene EP. Some real nice tracks on here, highlight I think being The Heist by Drama Club. But that's kind of another indie Grail there, so I was able to take that off my want list thanks to Chopped Herring as usual. RAW, actually this one's not really worth talking about, kind of lame. Most of this stuff is going to be talked about, except for like a big chunk here, but let's see. This is, I'm blanking on the group. FTC, there it is in the middle. Star Time, backed with Things Ain't Easy. This is out of Connecticut, West Haven. Produced by AC Smooth, who I believe also produced the Lonnie O 12s, those super rare ones. This is a sealed copy. I'm not a giant fan of this 12. It's not that exceptional to me, but I found it's sort of a hidden eBay auction. Got it for like $6 or something. Normally goes for like 80-ish, so I might try to flip this for some money in return. This 12 is by Jusone. Track called I Keep It Live. Bought this 12 solely for that track, and actually I was pretty disappointed by the other stuff that's on here. The other track by Jusone, Never Forget You Kid, is nowhere near the quality of I Keep It Live. This side is an artist called CC Productions, and this is late 90s, 1999, so the production of hip-hop was kind of just getting into that real corny stage, and I have to say that, you know, the other tracks on this 12 kind of fall into that category. So unfortunately, the one track purchase, if you can find this, Jusone, I Keep It Live, definitely a great track, but the others not so much. Scientifik, Criminal. Pretty well-known indie release. This is the original pressing on Definite Records. Scientifik ended up getting killed. He has one other release, I think, that's been on Traffic Entertainment Group. But this is his LP release. Good production on here. We got Edo G, Diamond D, Buck Wild. So definitely great release to pick up. Pretty cheap as well. Kind of got a little bit of a redesign here. Got rid of all those cardboard boxes as you saw in the past videos. Have my crates here. Got to reorganize all this shit. These are just some things I picked up at the storage unit. Nothing really worth talking about. This one maybe. Artist called The Eye. Something close to magic. Pretty rare, not sure exactly why. Or I mean, not sure why it's sought after. It's not that great, but that was the highlight of that storage visit. Nick Wiz, Cellar Selections, Volume 4. As with his past Cellar Selections videos, the whole thing, this whole release, double LP, everything is real on point here. This production is just amazing for mid-90s about. And this one back here is one of the later releases on Heavy Jewels, 12 block. Good one there, related to the group Hard to Obtain. Let's see. Actually, I'm getting a reading on my camera that I'm running out of space, so let me pause here and I will resume in 1 sec. Alright, so next here we have this release. I'm not sure if this is a group exactly, or if this is just representative of the label name. One for All and All for One. The track on here, the highlight is Mega Popula. I don't know. That's based off a Nas sample, I think. But got this record for that track. The rest of it's pretty good, but that track's definitely the highlight. We'll have a clip up to that. Another pretty off the radar release that didn't want to pass up, so had to pay the money for it. Next, this is what you're listening to right now. Adagio, New York to Philly, the EP. Gotta say, this is one of the best EPs that I think I've ever heard. Just like all 6 tracks, or the beats are real amazing, real jazzy. Flows are real good on here. Definitely an indie highlight. All 6 tracks. You can find this. Probably pick this up for maybe 80, 70 bucks normally. I was able to get it for less than that, so I was glad to have this. Finally able to cross that off the want list. Bobby Boyd Congress. This is a reissue of this release. The original for this definitely was going to find a copy, which is why I would even buy the reissue in the first place. Real solid funk release. I believe this was released in France only, but very, very solid release. I believe this was a limited reissue also, but definitely would never find an original. Again, we'll also have a clip of this. Very solid funk release. Bobby Boyd Congress, highly recommend it. Non-Equation, Hypoetix, 12-inch. This is out of Toronto, Canada. Solid 12 there. One that I threw in without order. Trapp 1TB. Kind of a funky gangster rap. Good one there. Danger Eye 5000, React to What. My personal favorite track on here is the B-side, Can You Dig What It Is? Good indie staple release. That's that. Truth by Design, a couple more Chopped Herring. Let My Tape Rock EP. This is a modern release, which I normally don't buy from Chopped Herring, but I really like the beats on here. Real solid release. everything on here, even though it was created recently. And Dark Forest, Save the Trees. Kind of regret buying this. I'm not a huge fan of this, but another indie Grail, I guess. One, they have a 12-inch that's pretty sought after, so they're able to re-release that on Chopped Herring. This one is an artist called either Wrath or US Wrath. I'm not really sure. I don't think he says his name in the songs, but another solid 12. My Man, My Mellow is a track I heard before. The other two tracks on here are real good as well. I believe 300 copies pressed, according to possibly questionable sources of the sellers on Discogs, but hadn't seen this up until I bought this copy when it popped up, so I had to grab it. Not like I'd see it again anytime soon. MC Evil. Evil's taking over 92. Real nice track on here called Can You Get Wrecked. Uses the Tramp sample, if you know what that is. Funky 92 stuff out of New York. I guess this MC Evil, I think, is the female MC here, who had some beef with Yo-Yo, who I believe is also a female MC. My memory's kind of going right now, but real nice release. Got this for cheap on eBay. June, another long time want list release I was able to finally cross off due to finding it for a cheap price, is J-Force Bullseye. J-Force has a couple different releases. Bullseye is definitely the one that is the most sought after. I would say probably because of the beat on here. This has a real dark beat on here. Basically my motivation for getting this is the beat on here, but definitely a very well known and sought after indie release. Finally got my copy of that. This one's a little bit off the radar, also limited to 300 copies. This is a group called Numbs. These guys are out of Salt Lake City, Utah, which is a little bit unique. This is their EP called Anesthetic Episode. 8 tracks on here, all solid, 1997 stuff. Had to grab it when it came up, as is with most of these, just because I probably knew I wouldn't see it again anytime soon. Another indie staple, Residue, Inner City Blues. First found out about this through DJ Premier's compilation, New York Reality Check. Inner City Blues is a definite highlight on here, backed with a drop in Residue, but if you're an indie digger, it's kind of one you have to have, just because it's pretty well known. Residue. This one is Leong Lau Dragon Man. This is a reissue. This was an Australian psychedelic blues funk LP, released in '76, I believe. Found out about this when the original came up on eBay. Was kind of intrigued by how they described the music, so looked into it more, and turns out that they have reissued this. This is a reissue from this year. So this label, Strawberry Rain, out of Canada, repressed this. Real high quality sound on here, official reissue. Great material. This guy was, I forget what ethnicity, I want to say Malaysian, but he was based in Australia. He had a couple different releases. I think this one is his highlight. Just real psyche blues, psychedelic rock and blues with funk, wah and fuzz, plus flutes, plus heavy bass and drums. That's a very fitting description for this. So definitely check this out. Put up a couple clips. And last three, just picked these up in the mail the other day. The latest from Dope Folks, Omniscience, Raw Factors Part 3. School Days. This is the group that Sim E from The Last Straws was in. early material from 92, I want to say. Good one from Dope Folks. And this actually possibly is the highlight, if not the Phat Flavor 93 tape. Just picked this up last week, and it just arrived to me a couple days ago. This is BQ in full effect. For those that don't know this release, this is I'd say one of the legendary hip-hop grails, released in 1988 out of New York. Definitely one of the earliest, I'd say, hip-hop releases on my want list. Had been wanting this for several years at least. There's been a couple of copies on eBay that have popped up, but they all went for too high prices. But this one came up on Discogs, and I had to grab it immediately. There's a couple, scratches on it and marks that cause ticks, but the real track that I got this for, and I think what most people get this for, is a track called "Let the Homicides Begin" by a group called Top Priority, which is consists of Percy P and I believe D-Neek. Percy P, this is his earliest 12-inch. Definitely still has the same kind of flow that he has on his later releases, and may or may not be related to why this is so sought after, but this song, "Let the Homicides Begin," is had a line that was sampled on it by DJ Shadow on Introducing in the song Napalm Brain Scatterbrain. So yeah, this is the source material for that. Just a really, really rare and just 100% solid pure hip-hop release, 1988. Can't recommend this enough. If you can find a copy anywhere, if you have the money to get one at normal price, highly recommend BQ in full effect. Definitely top 3, if not number 1 for the last 3 months. BQ in full effect. Real glad to have that. So, alright, so that's about it. That is it. Let's see. Yeah, so did a little bit of reorganizing. Finally got through my record backlog. Still got to alphabetize everything. This box right here and this little row of records is all my really rare indie stuff that I'm probably going to end up putting on this shelf here, which is where my jazz records are right now. But yeah, so getting settled into this new job. Now that I'm finally through all these records and things are kind of dying down after EDC, which is our biggest festival, I probably will have a little more time to reevaluate what files I have and get some more demos up, get some more record rips up and things like that. And yeah, probably will make another one of these creative videos in 3 months from now. I think 3 months is a good amount of time for me to build up a good amount of records that I can, fill up a good amount of time talking about. So I guess I will be back in 3 months or so. And yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any feedback or if I put you onto any records. I'll have clips up in the annotations as usual with these. And yeah, enjoy the good music. And I will see you guys soon. Peace.